first date. I don't do that. I was like, I want to know who you is before anything. And as I'm talking, those shits in the table like,
movies went great. We decided to like go and get food, and we got food, and we sat in my car. We listened to music, we were talking, and
like 3 weeks. You know, she was on hold though. You know what I'm saying? I ain't feeling that.
and like, okay, it got so bad. It was to the point, like,
significant other love language is important, so that way you know how that person receives and perceives.
And you're in a relationship, but we like sleeping together. We're in a situationship because we've already established.
This is a situationship talk.
Hey. Monday, guys. Welcome back. Situationship Talk Season 3. Season 3. We are in a new year. So this is the first time we've started the show y'all at the first of the year. So welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah. So tonight, I got my people with me as always, and we are talking about relationship goals and coaching, getting therapy or going to get some type of relationship coaching during the process. So, you know, let's go ahead and get to it. I got last page with me, AM and Juanita, my girl Tweet. So who wants to get the conversation started tonight? What are your thoughts on celebrity relationship goals? I think in 2021, a lot of myths about Jada and Will were like destroyed because what the media made them be, they proved that they weren't.
Yeah, and they made them look like power couples.
Right.
I mean, they're also a power couple. They're still a power couple. They just have alternative outlooks about their relationship.
I think Jada has more of an alternative outlook on their relationship than Will does.
You don't know that.
She's a lot more vocal than Will. I know that.
She also dated someone it's like as public as Will. So it's like,
I don't know, man.
So, okay, AM, so this is for you. So do you think that is their lifestyle that people shouldn't, because I think people see them, they're this couple and they make a lot of money together. They got to hustle together and they're what people want to be. Like when we see them, we see Black love, right? And I'm going to get us some help in on this. We got a special guest that's going to help us out with this conversation. Coach Q is going to join us. Coach Q, welcome to the party. How are you?
Hey,
how y'all doing?
All right.
We're doing well.
Awesome.
So doing good. How are you?
Happy Monday. So we're starting the conversation off and we're talking about celebrity relationships and are they relationship goals? And
are they? Say that again. I'm sorry.
We're talking about relationship goals. Are celebrity relationships like Jada and Will, Beyonce and Jay-Z? I think the young people are kind of into Ari and MoneyBag. Like, are these things that we should be aspiring to be, or is it all for show?
I think it's always interesting, man. Relationship goals are, I think, valuable because it gives some people something to aspire to. But I also think that they can be stifling because the moment that relationship is not in alignment with whatever your personal standards are, then people unfortunately like hang their faith on those couples. So it's like, man, all my faith has like went by the wayside in believing in Black love or believing in relationships or believing in marriage or believing in monogamy or whatever, because they have used their relationship goals as not only something to aspire to, but to me in some ways they've kind of like idolized it. So I don't think that it's bad, but I think people have to be careful. I don't think there's anything wrong with as my parents used to say, chew the meat and spit out the bones. You know, you have to look at those relationships and say, here are some really good things that we can take away from it, but never remove people from their humanness, because there's no one that's perfect. Something can, you know, meet them at an intersection of their relationship later down the line that is unforeseen, and it changes the trajectory of their relationship. And everybody can say what they think should happen, but only the people involved can really make that decision. So I tend to tell people, like, it's nothing wrong with aspiring, but mind your business. Like, just take care of your own stuff. You know, take care of your relationship. Make good decisions for you, because I've coached some people who have been on the other side of 20 years of marriage, and now they're trying to work through getting their life back because their partner just woke up one day and decided they don't want to be together no more, and don't have no real deep reason. They just like, I just don't want to be married to you anymore after 27 years. And for anybody to place judgment and be like, well, you should have done, whoop. Like I said, I'm the queen of mind your business, because to me, you don't want to be on the other side of Karma's cousin, not just Karma, but her and her cousin ganging up on you to prove to you that you could find yourself in that situation too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I do believe that God uses karma, by the way. You know what I'm saying?
Karma is real. I don't know. I feel like AM, you itching to say something. What you got to say? What's your follow-up behind that?
Oh no, I agree with Coach. I agree with her completely. I feel like when people idolize celebrities in any aspect, you don't know a celebrity. I mean, you wouldn't idolize your friends' relationship because you know all their business. So you don't know these celebrities. You don't know what they're going through behind the scenes. And what they doing could work for them, but may not work for you. You can get like halfway of what you consider them as goals, but until you know everything they have going on, they can't fully be actual goals.
Okay. So last page. What are your thoughts on that? Looking at the celebrity relationships and idolizing them. I like what Coach Q said about people put them a little higher than their humanness. What do you think?
Honestly, I think, you know, people who idolize celebrities, they're not realistic. You know what I'm saying? You got to take Cardi B and Offset, for example. You see how many times he done cheated on that girl? How much stuff he done put her through behind closed doors, and people still recognize them as, you know, relationship goals. You know, you just don't know what's going on behind closed doors with these celebrities. I mean, the image is nice, but, you know, create your own relationship goals. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Juanita, what are your thoughts with that? What are your thoughts on celebrity relationships or relationship goals in general?
I'm gonna agree with like last page. I really don't get into celebrity relationships because like you said, you never really know what's going on behind closed doors. You know, you could take a couple pictures. Anyone could take pictures and look happy, and then once the camera's off, they're fighting and fussing and acting fool. So I don't really idolize any type of celebrities or any type of relationship goals. I do look at like my mom and my dad's relationship, and I kind of more gear myself towards I would want to be like them, you know, together 30 something years and still in love with each other.
That's awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's more realistic.
Oh, sorry, I hear somebody talking.
Oh, I'm saying that's more realistic. At least you have seen your parents' relationship up close.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say too, like when thinking of a goal, like it's the end, it's the finish line, and I feel like I said, to aspire towards the goal, you can I'm the author of a book called No Plan B. People are like, well, you need a plan B. I'm like, well, it depends on what you've articulated your plan A to be. So for me, if my plan A, like some people will say, Quila, you know, don't you want to, because I've been coaching for 7 years and I started a job today in Southwest, free benefits. Amen. Supply. I'm just saying. So when people, you see what I'm saying? So when people are like, Aquila, you didn't want to work for a company. I left my job to do this. I'm a faith walker, y'all. Believe, like, God orders my steps, but I'm a hustler too. Don't get it twisted. Like, I braid hair. I feel like what you call it from Friday: braid hair, sell drugs, and babysit out the same house.
Baby D.
Amen.
Baby.
Yeah, baby D. But I'm a braid hair and lay some wood floors, and I'll put up a couple fences and finish the basement. Now, all of that to say, and I can help you get your life. But meanwhile, my plan A is not to be broke. My plan A is to create a legacy, multiple streams of income. My plan A is to teach my children how to utilize all of their gifts and talents to create room for them instead of them being paralyzed by the goal or the dream. So while the pandemic was happening and I speak and I travel all these places and all of that changed, thou shalt not be starving and living outside in a box. So so my plan A was never to live in the streets. Yes, my plan A is to be a coach, but I can still coach, which I may do part-time while still doing some other things. And so to me, when it comes back down to your goal, what's the goal? So is the goal a healthy relationship? Because when you consider the goal of being a doctor, not everybody's aspiring for the difficulty that comes with that, but they're planning on that DR in front of their name, right? Mm-hmm. Not everybody's aspiring towards the sleepless nights, the stressed out times. I mean, I've got friends who was like, girl, anybody you meet and they tell you they want to hire you for coaching and they say, I'm going to law school or medical school, just tell them to quit the relationship because it is strenuous on the relationship. And I'm like, dang, really? That was like Aquila, strenuous. So my point is that you may lose relationships and everything for the goal. So to me, the goal is the finish line. It's not aspiring towards, I want that relationship where the person's cheating on me. So I also think in some ways we should be mindful of that perspective too, that although I want the goal of the relationship, what is the goal? You know what I'm saying? Like Sweet said her parents been married for 30-something years. That's the goal, but I'm pretty sure there's some struggle we don't know about. That ain't the part we want, but we have our own journey to go along with whatever that finish line is. If you ask me to jump some hurdles, I seen a meme the other day where the person thought they was jumping and they just fell with the hurdle. That would be me. That would be me. But I would want to, in real life, I feel inspired to want to run and jump the hurdle and be it so gracefully over. But that may not necessarily how it goes. So I feel like we all have to like really show up to me being realistic and open to people changing their mind, may need some more stretches, be trying something different, that kind of thing. So I think goals are okay. Idolizing is not.
Okay. So that's perfect. Goals are okay. Idolizing is not. That was the second portion of our conversation tonight. I saw recently where I'm really big on vision boards for anybody who knows me.
Yeah.
I feel I'm all about manifesting.
I made
your
one
destiny.
yesterday.
See, yeah. So I'm working on
Oh,
mine.
that's nice.
My volleyball girls do it. I've got my kids at school. So I saw somebody talk about setting relationship goals, like sitting down with your partner at the first of the year. And as Coach Q said, setting goals. What are our goals this year? So is that anything that you guys have ever done with, Coach Q, what do you think about that? Is that something that you would encourage when you're coaching for those couples to sit down and actually set goals where they know where they're going?
100% money back guarantee, because it is too often people assume that we know we're going the same way.
Yeah.
Right.
Too often have I talked to couples who are like, oh, but I thought we were doing this, and then they're sitting in this conversation. Well, I thought this was the goal. I 100% believe in setting goals. And before we stick a pin there, do you have it for yourself? So when you have goals for you, then we can go to the table and say, hey, I have some goals. I would like to, align them with your goals. But sometimes people put the burden on their partner. And they'll be like, we need to have goals. Well, have you given thought to some goals? You know what I'm saying? So I've got personal standards that affect my goals. So give you an example. I have a personal standard that I am not argumentative. There are reviews, amen, that should probably be on Google because I don't play them. Like anybody I've dated will say, now I could debate you, but there's even that. I keep all that to a minimum because we teetering into arguing. Like I don't like it, but it came from growing up in an environment. and seeing that too much. And I was like, well, this ain't gonna work. So I made a self goal. Like, I don't want to argue. I want to communicate and be heard. I want to be able to be silent because maybe what I'm hearing is altered by feelings, emotions. That's literally a practice for me. So with that being said, that's a personal practice. So my goal with my partner would be, let's make it a goal to not go past such a so-and-so time of being mad. So you can't make that a goal without doing some personal work with the goal. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely say the goals are important, as well as having personal goals that you can realistically work on and bring to the table and not just expect from the other person.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
like that.
with that, AM, have you ever set goals in your personal relationships with your partners?
No, no. But
Okay.
I do have my own set of goals and rules. And when you mentioned not arguing, I definitely have that. I don't argue with people. I don't argue.
Okay.
We can have a conversation, but I'm not going to argue with you. And then not, and then you're not going to talk at me. I'm not going to talk at you, because that leads to nowhere. Because I don't listen to people talking at me.
I agree.
And women definitely don't understand that they do it a lot.
Agree.
No, it is a more of a feminine tendency to talk at someone instead of actually talking to them. Like, I give a prime example that I'm pretty sure. I don't know you, Coach Q, but maybe you too. I know for a fact that Candy K and Juanita have done this. And if I give you like an example of, say, someone you dating has not contacted you, first thing you do is jump to conclusions instead of talking to them and asking them what have their day been like. Am I right? Have y'all ever done that to
Oh,
a
you
significant
can
other?
throw me in there too,
Yeah.
honey. This is a matured place. I didn't wake up like this.
But instead of being like, "Are you okay? Did you have a rough day? Why haven't I see we haven't talked that much. It's why haven't you called me? Why haven't you talked to me? Why haven't I talked to you? Why is this?" And it's like, you don't know
Or
what
even
that
giving
person is going
instructions,
through.
AM, like, or giving or
Oh,
speaking
instructions.
feelings. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's another thing too. This is what happened, and this is what happened, instead of asking questions. But like I said, this is a matured place. I definitely didn't wake up like this. So I got married at 18 years old. Girl, I was still practicing my emotions and all kind of stuff without being, my emotions not running too wild. I'm not an overly emotional person, just naturally. But I definitely can do some talking at. You know what I'm saying? So I have to make sure I reel me in, because
And
I
it's
am
like,
still a woman. I'm still a human. I'm just telling the truth. Like,
But then you
I
got
can be there tomorrow.
and then you
yeah.
have a lot of people who don't listen to understand. They only listen to reply.
That's guys. That's Chad. Now, that's guys.
No, women got
That is
women got
mostly
that bad.
men.
Women got that bad too, man. For
Most
real.
guys will listen till they can. No, they will listen to the point where they have to chime in, because they don't
Do
want
they
to get
chime in?
fussed at. Some of them will listen for a cue to chime in instead of actually listening to the conversation. They will, oh, it's my turn to speak, and then just asking you like a simple question to keep you still talking. I'm not gonna get her to keep talking, so that way I don't have to talk back.
I had that bad though. Like, they would talk and I would listen to certain things that they say to
And be like, oh,
you
for
know,
Talking
real?
about yourself.
but
Be like,
then I
okay.
end up like tuning them out. So the parts that was important to them, I didn't pay no attention
Attention
to.
to
Exactly.
all
It
So
of
be
them.
them
Right.
trigger words. It's them
yeah.
trigger words. You be
It's
like,
Yeah.
wait,
like,
what did you say? Did you say cheating? I said on a test. I said cheating on a test. I didn't say you was cheating. You know what I'm saying? But they pick out the one word and then they be like, let's dive in. I do
Go.
think that it's a woman and a man thing, though. You asked.
It go both ways.
I do
Yeah.
think
So
it definitely goes both ways. And I must say, if I listening to enough men, even in coaching sessions, I have to hold space for men, because women will talk and talk and talk. And by the time he interjects, he's honestly trying to just find a door, because he's trying to find somewhere to get something in, and he may be picking at a word, because he's hadn't been allowed to really talk about certain subjects. One thing I love about what I do is I'm not biased, And none of my male clients will be able to say that I am, because I'm gonna be like, well, you ain't gave them a chance to talk. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna be able to see the whole picture for the sake of getting to resolve. So that's where I must honestly say, depends on the circumstance.
Depends on the circumstance. Juanita, back to you. Relationship
Okay.
goals. Do you set them in your relationships with your partner?
Well, I've never done it in the past, but I actually was saying that was something we were going to do, because I did my vision board party yesterday, and I was like, I want us to do one together as a couple and see what type of goals we want to accomplish this year.
That's good.
So that's in the making.
Okay, last page.
Maybe it works. I ain't never done it before.
Maybe it
Listen,
works.
you
Maybe
can't
it
know
stick.
until you
This
try
one
it, right?
This one gonna stick.
Right.
Can't know until you try it.
I can honestly say I've never done that before. I mean, we save money and plan trips and stuff, but you know, not anything to that caliber. But I do plan on doing that though. I definitely do.
Okay. I rarely ask what people see their 5 years like. Like, I'm still young. Y'all kind of old. Like, I don't know where I'm gonna be
I
in
plan
5
on being
years.
married.
First-
Not
I
you,
mean,
Coach
kind
Q.
of
I'm sorry.
old.
I don't know you.
How
Coach
old
Q.
are you,
I don't know
AM?
you, Coach Q.
AM,
I
how old
don't
are
know
you?
you.
Because as soon as you hit 30, it's a
I think
wrap.
AM's in her
Well, I ain't
20s.
30 yet. I am in my 20s. I'm not in my 30s
She's in
yet.
her
I am
20s.
in my
First of
But
all,
she's
20,
Hold on.
29,
How old is AM?
I'm not 29 yet. I'm 28.
28.
Oh, okay.
you
I mean,
tiptoeing.
it's
So
You
cool.
it's
I'm
knocking.
around
I
the
40.
got 2
corner.
years. I got 2
You
years.
knocking at the
I'm
door.
40. I'll take
You
it.
knocking at
I'll
the
take
door.
it. You know what I'm saying? I'll take it. Don't.
I haven't walked in that motherfucker yet. That's all that matters. So until I'm walking
She is
in
not
it,
knocking on
All
40's
right.
door.
no, 30.
She's knocking on
30.
30.
Oh, 30. I was like,
I'm knocking on 30.
what?
No, I'm
She's
knocking on
knocking
30.
on 30. I'm knocking on 40. Listen, I just started doing the relationship goals, kind of, sort of. So this year is the goal to put it on paper. And I've seen some things kind of manifest themselves, but I just felt like it was really interesting for anybody that's listening to kind of just go in online and research it and sit down together. It's like a date night at home, right? When we think about date nights, it's a free activity. Get you some wine or apple juice or whatever it is that you choose to partake in, and sit down together at the table and do something fun. Like, that's on our to-do list this week, is because I feel like it could be a fun activity. As you said, AM, of where do you see yourself in 5 years for people that are at that stage? But also, like, here we talked about money goals. I be trying not to be shopping. I try to stay out the stores a little bit more now, and trying to formulate a budget and car goals and where, vacation goals. So I just think it's a lot of things that we can do. And when I look at celebrities, I'm looking at like where they went for vacation. What Beyonce and Jay-Z did to create an empire that's so large. Financially, what steps did they take? How do you condition yourself? Like, that's what I tell myself. How do I condition myself mentally to be able to do business with my partner long term? So when I look at the things that these celebrity influencers, like, that's all that they've really become. They do. I look at it from an aspect of the generational wealth point.
Yeah.
Like, Cardi and Offset are the same as me and you last page if we weren't on TV. The same things that go on in their house. Cardi's not being cheated on any more than the next woman who lives next door to you.
Exactly.
And so that's kind of how I would advise people to kind of take a look at these things. Like, goals should be you. You should be creating your own goals for your own life. If you see something, let's add it. For us over here, we're trying to be media moguls. So I need to see what Jay-Z and Beyonce have been doing behind the scenes to wind up with Tiffany endorsements. Like, those are the things. I think it's the triggers and the key words of what it is that people are doing for the success aspect, if those are your goals. So
I was gonna say, Coach Q, what do you do if say you sit down with your partner and not all the goals are aligned? There are some discrepancies in the goals, but you want to be with that person, they want to be with you.
Okay. She said lies on the poster board.
Lies on the poster board.
I
Hey,
cannot.
don't put all the brothers in as a whole. Stop being bitter.
They in the whole.
Who
they,
hurt
the
you?
whole bucket.
Who hurt
No,
you?
literally
That's the real thing.
though.
Who hurt you?
No, literally
Who lied
though.
to you on a poster board?
There's
On the
listen.
poster.
I think about what Coach Q said. I didn't wake up like this. I agree with my sister. I agree with her because there are a lot of people, they will just tell you whatever. So they can just put it.
They're not. Because if you don't see their goals, they have to write down their own goals. Then if they don't write down nothing, then something's wrong with them. They can't copy
But I
yours.
think it goes more than that. It goes deeper than that. That's why I started out to say, what do they have going for themselves? Never isolate. Like, let's scratch this real quick. People will lie. But we want to weed through, like, am I even wasting my time doing the vision board? Did you do the vision board for you and they just happen to be there sharing wine with you? Be clear on what's really taking place. Because I'm gonna be honest, I've had some, janky experiences and stuff in dating. They don't last long. It doesn't last long enough. Like I tell people like this, I'm a date, we gonna learn, and my village and fam know how to move on. Girl, how's that going? Girl, he done moved from an A to the alphabet to the X, and once they get to the X, they never make it to the front. Like, we good. It's nothing much to talk about. So it gets to be where I would like to encourage the lovely lady who just made that comment, don't kill your own hope and faith, because I've met some really amazing guys. We just don't connect. We don't vibe well. Even if it's going back to what you just said, AM, like if you meet them and things don't align, you have to be okay with being able to let good people go that doesn't make productive partners.
And then sometimes it's okay to be friends too, though.
That's what it's true. But what I'm saying, but I'm gonna be honest. We don't know if we got that much time. It depends on all those situations, okay? Because both of y'all like do a whole lot of stuff with that too. And I'm gonna be honest, like when it comes to when I'm dealing with women who are saying they're hurt, but they still holding on to the very things that cause them pain. It's like you holding on to the piece of broken glass that's making you bleed, talking about it's my friend. Like, and then you wonder why you're impacted by the people who keep on coming, who are trying to now grab a hold of the hand that ain't never got to heal because you never let go of the broken glass because you keep on saying. So that's all we're going to say about that. However, I would like to really encourage people to give yourself the grace and the permission to move forward, to heal and move on. Meet amazing people and be okay with them just passing through like the leaves on a tree. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's okay. It's okay for me to meet you and recognize that all relationships don't have to be considered bad because we don't stay together.
Right.
True.
They're not all bad. Everybody's not my enemy. I could see you on the streets, chuck you deuces, and we don't got to do a whole lot more than that. And it's not because of hate. It's because I'm intentional about how I spend my time. So that's where I would like to encourage people to really just work on, like, no, if you meet somebody and they're living the talk, we got to recognize, here's a little tip for anybody. If you're easily sold with words, don't go talk to the person who can sell you with words. You have to shift to allowing yourself to use action as evidence, because the word evidence is going to sell you a lie every time. So choose to be able to say, I've got more senses than ears. I can see and I can touch. You know what I'm saying? So I want people to like really lean on those senses. I'm serious. Sometimes I'm a challenge you. If you ever coach with me, like if you think you're gonna get, and I love Jesus and everything, but Brett, don't come over here and think I'm gonna waste your time. If you tell Queen it looked like a duck, it quacked like a duck, but I'm telling you it's a cow. It's Affleck. Like, I don't understand why we're trying to call it something it's not. You can't say that you call this person and ask them to make goals with you. They don't want to do it. You ask them what their personal goals are if they don't have any. I just don't understand why we're not going nowhere, because they never wanted to turn on GPS. Why are we still talking? They never wanted to get any direction. They never want to talk to you about direction. You have to allow people's process to be their own. And that's one thing I must tell you I'm real good at. If I meet you and today you're not ready and dressed and I got to be gone in 10 minutes, do you know how many times I was married? You know how many times I got left? And I can't take offense to me not managing my time well. At some point, we have to grow and develop so that when ready is standing in front of us, we can match and we can be ready together. But if I show up ready and you're not ready, it ain't looking down on you, because corporations, jobs, businesses, opportunities, they're all doing the same thing. Hey, I need you to be ready. And, Candy, I need you to be ready in 30 minutes. Can you do this? I've been on sets of shows before. People will get left. You'll miss opportunities. And that's how, to me, I believe in being fruitful and multiplying. And if people think it's just making kids, that's why our population is what it is now. I think it's more to that. You want to make sure that there is fruit, and fruit is not just seed. And so seed is potential. So everybody's getting excited over seed, like, I think they're going to grow up and be a tree. Well, until you see fruit, which is a multiplied seed, then you know they're not multiplying much for you. And stop getting excited over addition. That's elementary. Because kids be like, oh, Mom, I got 25 cents and 25 cents. Baby, 50 cents ain't doing nothing for my light bill. I need multiplication. So those are things that I want people to think about when it comes to goals, goal setting, partnership, and your relationships. You are an individual first, and you're an individual even after the relationship. And that individual has to continue to make decisions that show a yes to you every single day. And on the day that you get to say no because you done said yes 44 days in a row, the day you looking like a no, you get grace. But when you've been looking like no 45 days and now you want to be a yes, you get an exit. Don't let people keep on convincing you that they can't do more. They can.
Yeah, they can.
When they
if
want
you choose to.
There you go.
It's about
when
choices.
They want to.
Because I bet they got a job that they go to on time.
Yeah, they do.
And you understand what
yeah,
my
they do.
Was it? But what one of y'all that told?
I bet you got a job if you go to on time.
Wasn't one of y'all that told that story that one time talking about the dude he had hooked up with somebody at a congregation? I don't know. I think it was me. He had hooked up with some. Yeah, he had hooked. He was with. I did. It was me. I was the one that told the story. What a dude. Okay, so look, my friend Mama, she was with this dude, but they had been calling each other friends for a long time. You know what I mean? But they, they doing boyfriend and girlfriend stuff. But anytime they somewhere, they constantly, they got to let it be known. Like, that's my friend. We friends, right? So he ended up hooking up with another woman, and that was a part of their congregation. Imagine this man didn't work at all the entire time he was with her mama. He decided to get a job and do everything he was supposed to that he could have done with her. Yeah. But I'm sure he felt like he got something better. So anytime a man gets something that they truly want, they get their shit together.
Not even that. I mean, they accept what you let them. They do the shit you let them do. Yeah. If you think the nigga ain't got no job, then he never gonna get no job with you because you've been allowing him. Why the fuck would I get a job? You got to live in your couch eating.
And I'm like Coach Q. Like, one of the things I tell women now is, like, as she said, it's not that I think I'm better than you. We're not in the same place.
Compatible.
I'm going forward. You're driving in reverse backwards.
Right.
We're just never going in the same direction. There are just certain things I think that we need to establish as people. So, like, our own personal goals, what we're willing to tolerate, what we're not willing to tolerate. Those things come from us setting goals for ourselves and setting standards, and then requiring other people to meet those standards. Not be perfect, because we got to remember when we're setting standards that we're not perfect, but how hard are you willing to work? And when people show you in the first few weeks, I believe in canceling people early.
Damn.
Because
Do you understand why standards exist?
Yeah.
We need to have them.
Let me give you a very simple idea around standards. When you go to the amusement park and they have those rulers there that they say you have to be this tall to ride the ride, that's a standard. This is the standard of height you have to be to mitigate risk. We increase our risk when we allow people on the ride that is below the standard. So you are at a greater risk of being hurt, and I'm at a greater risk of having to pay for your hurt.
Yeah.
So in relationship, it's the same. This isn't personal. If I know the standard is that I need a person who is productive in their life and things like that, that mitigates risk because you're talking to a person who has, like I said, I hustle and I have children, 20-year-old and a 13-year-old, and I don't play when it comes to working. I actually like producing fruit, right? I like to do my stuff. But if I'm not careful, I'll be with somebody else who say all you are is busy. Because I mitigated the risk when I chose to be with somebody just as productive as I am. Now, I don't need us to be so busy we missing each other. I'm with someone who prioritizes me like I prioritize him. But he got a life and got things going on. So he also respects when I say, hey, I got to do live. I got a coaching call. I work 8 hours a day. Plus, I got a coaching call tonight. And I need to spend time with my daughter. He has children. These are things that mitigate the risk of somebody saying, why you got to give all that time to your daughter or da-da-da. I'm mitigating risk. So your standards mitigate risk sometimes for a problem you don't even know will come up either quickly ahead in the story or a little further down the line because we're giving too many passes on the standards. And your standards can grow because not every ride has the same height requirement. So as you grow, as you mature, your standards may increase. Some people say, oh, you act like I got to have all my stuff together. Or be
You
at
do.
a place where if I decide to buy a property,
Shut up,
we can share it.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. You may want somebody that do have all their stuff together. If you've done the work and you say, well, my credit score is 700 and, or 720, and you coming at me with a 620, there's nothing wrong with saying, let's work on that to help you get that up. Or what's your plan? Or are you just flatlining at 620 or what's the word? Because you're mitigating the risk of you being here's the deal. Can you give that person grace? Yes. But I must say, I'm not going to fault people for having a standard. That's my point.
Yeah,
I'm not faulting you for saying you want somebody else who have a 6, because job check credit, and y'all don't say nothing about them.
At all.
Job,
but a lot of them don't realize that's why they don't get the jobs because they credit not high.
Because their credit bad.
Yeah.
So it is. Okay, so before we wrap up, Coach, what are your ideas or how do we encourage our partners to come get coaching? How do we encourage people to get out of their own way to learn a new way of attacking something?
You get some lingerie and you, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, we're going to have to get back to that part.
Get a man to say yes every time.
And then, hold on, then I'm going to have to go back to sister who said it'll be live on the poster board. So no.
Live on the poster board.
No. So to be honest, I'm going to be honest. This is a tough one, y'all. I wish there was a magic trick and I had a magic wand. Coaching for one is different than therapy. Everybody who has come to coaching is an experienced coach and they be like, I like this. It's better than therapy. But, and I'm not in competition with, because some of my clients have to do both. Because if you're stuck, you can't work with me. Coaches for people who are self-guided, self-starters, they can manage their own process. If I give you homework assignments, you can complete them. If I tell you, hey, I need you to work on not asking so many questions this week, trust your partner. When they give you a task, just roll with it. I feel like somebody back there saying amen in a way.
Man.
But I'm just saying, if I'm like, hey, let's feedback this week, and you can you're like, okay, and be honest, like, girl, I tried this week. I was, whatever. That's what coaching is for. Coaching is not for people who are stuck, and every week is a fight for us. So with that being said, if you have to feel like you're causing a resistance or getting resistance where your partner doesn't want to go coaching, it's not their time. Send your partner a 60-second video. Let them hear and get a taste of that person and how they present. Maybe a website or something like that. Talk to them about how coaching is literally, I tell people all the time, it's like the coaches of sports. I'm trying to help you keep staying the game. I want you to win, but I teach you how to move through the losses. I've got an objective view, and I got a perspective that can see all different portions of the your opponent. Your opponent could be your finances, your opponent could be the kids this week, your opponent could be whatever. But I want you guys to stay, continue to win. So when they recognize that they're not in trouble, number one, that's one thing. They're not in trouble. You're not sending them to class, like to the principal. You have no idea how many times men have said that.
I know. I was gonna say that sounds like a man thinking you're in trouble.
Definitely. Yeah, seriously. They have to feel like they're not in trouble, but you're really trying to provide a resource where y'all can have a guided conversation, both sharing and both being heard.
I love it. I love it. So, guys, who on the panel would be willing to get relationship coaches? Like, have you ever, before this conversation tonight, any of you guys ever been in therapy or coaching sessions? Anybody?
No.
In one of my past relationships, I made a recommendation to do that, but we don't need that. I ain't finna go to that, and that was my 6-year relationship that should have ended after 6 months.
No at the beginning is no at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really, ask me how I know though, because I'm married.
I was like, yeah, no at the beginning should be a no at the end.
Yeah.
It should be. Like when you get that gut feeling, I teach people also to be very into like God is so dope. I'm like, God uses everything to talk to us. So your body, when you was like you walked into that person and it wasn't like butterflies, but it was anxiety, that's communicating something to you.
Yeah.
It's true. That's
I'm
true.
no one gives me anxiety.
But you meaning like this, you could be cool in the moment that you meet, but then all of a sudden you go home and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this, and your mind just start going.
Yeah.
Maybe you haven't, but I literally met somebody like that, and everything that I talked to myself about without knowing any detail was everything that ended up being the issue. And people can say you manifested that. No, you have to trust your discernment. God is smart. I know I used to say to God all the time, like, yo, can't you put nutrition facts on some of these people? Like, I need to know what percentages I'm working with crazy and difficult and you know what I'm saying or whatever. God's like, I don't need to do that. Just trust when I tell you that this is a no or whatever. Like, even honestly, my daughter's dad. Y'all heard I just said my daughter's dad? Yes, Lord, I still had a baby with it too. Anyway, my daughter's dad, when I met him, I told him, like, I would never marry you, but I can't put my finger on why. We have to trust that we don't need the disruptive and heartbreaking evidence to prove why it's a no. Why put somebody in a position of becoming the bad person? And I tell people, like, he did a lot of raggedy, y'all. But I have to be accountable that I told him, I was like, man, we have a good time, though. We having fun. But, yeah, we shouldn't do this. We shouldn't do anything longer than this good time and fun. And I wasn't in the best place. I wasn't as strong, and I was all extra vulnerable and what have you to keep entertaining it. And as long as, what did you say, that people do what you let them do, AM?
Oh, yeah.
He did what I let him do. So I kept him around. He stayed around. He was into me. And he was into me, but not mature and ready, right? So the no at the beginning, where before the heartbreak and the disappointment and the baby, no regrets for the kiddo, but it's the reality. If I would have handled it accordingly, the trajectory would be different. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I saw somebody say, you got to thank God for you do want to thank God for your past. But I'm a Bible girl real quick. So Samson was the strong one who had his hair cut by the girl and lost his strength. See, the purpose was always for him to go conquer the Philistines. There was a different plan and path for him. Now, his daddy did alter that plan by having his girl low-key killed, that he actually loved. But this is why I encourage healing. I believe Samson would have never chose Delilah had he not been heartbroken. And your pain can cause you to choose somebody that would never be in alignment with your standard if you were healed. So he chose this person, and in that, he forsaked his strength. So he made a decision that cost him his life. There are some things that while God still have his way and all of that, God ain't out here like, yes, Samson, I wanted you. That wasn't God's plan for Samson to go and have to kill himself, is my point. That wasn't it, y'all. So we don't have to be the sacrifice. I tell people I believe in Jesus. There was one sacrifice that was required. He did it already, so I don't got to be the one all the time.
I agree, and we've talked about this on the show, like our reckless behavior. Like I've been that person, and like AM, you said you've never felt it. Like when you live in a house with somebody and you move into the guest bedroom, that's that. Like literally,
Been there. I've been there.
I moved into the guest bedroom. Like I don't even want to see you.
Oh no,
I'm gonna come in as late as possible.
Keep passing each other up where you
We
can't
didn't
see
even pass
each
each
other
other.
at all.
I know
We
I'm
didn't
breaking
even
the
pass
lease.
each other.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm breaking the lease. I don't care.
See, and that's what I'm saying.
I'm breaking the lease.
At that time,
did you say you breaking in?
She said she's breaking the lease.
I'm breaking the lease. Oh, we're not together.
Which makes
okay,
sense.
We're not being together.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes
no
perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense. But when you like, I feel like these type of things help us get to that point, and maybe it helps another woman or a man to understand, as Coach Q said, a no at the beginning is a no at the end. You know when it's time to go. We sometimes stay because we're worried about breaking the lease, and I was, and ultimately I wound up breaking the lease anyway because I just, it just became
too much. It's too much.
It was just a variety of things with that person that I could tell stories every week about that one relationship.
Yeah, that's why I live by myself.
How long did y'all do that?
No one lives with me.
How long did we do that?
How long? Yeah.
I don't know. I think we made maybe 6.5, 7 months before we finally.
Oh, have the lease. No, have the lease.
We did it for a while, but I mean, that was also the same person that I was trying to run over with the car. It was just a lot going on.
Oh, that's Buddy with the car.
It was a lot going on.
Yeah, you wanted him dead. You should never live with him.
Well, it wasn't until you live with people that you know that you realize some of this behavior takes place. No. And that's why I say I like to have these conversations so that as people we can reflect, but we can get some life lessons as we go forward that, there's just certain people we don't belong together. So, Coach Q, can you let the people know where they can find you if they need some coaching, some encouragement, some calls?
Yes. So I want to say thank you guys for having me. Y'all are awesome. I've checked y'all out a couple times. I love the controversy. So it was an honor to be a guest. But you guys can find me as Aquila Maddox or The Inspirationalist or Coach Q on Facebook or Instagram. And I'm trying to get my TikTok on, y'all. It'd be a struggle, but I'm trying to get it. Just to share some tips and stuff on there. You ain't gonna catch me dancing.
I don't even know how to do it. I'm still trying to figure it out.
What'd you say, Tweet?
I'm still trying to figure out how to do TikTok.
Yeah.
Without dancing sometimes, though. Yeah.
Well, y'all, this is a new start to season 3 of Situationship Talk. Coach Q, we got to have you back on another time. We appreciate you stopping by. My friends, to my crew, thank you guys. We will do it again next Monday. What did I say, Wednesday?
I don't know. We are definitely on Mondays, man.
On Monday. Listen, my shows have changed. So we will do it again next Monday. We thank all the viewers for tuning in. Until next week. Good night.
Peace, y'all.